Why, good evening. Hey, what's going on, my people? It's Charles Chuck Charlie Chaz from CGM3 Productions. How are you on this beautiful Friday night? And still reeling from the daylight savings time thing, but we're getting there. I mean, it's still, sun's still out, setting, but it's very, very cold. I don't know what's going on with Mother Nature out there. The line's still around. So, anyway, that beside the point, that's the weather forecast from there. But just to let you know, this is my 57th entry, and I just had my 24th round last week. Now, this week is my bye week, and I was very, very busy. So I do apologize that we're doing this right now because I've been very busy trying to get my personal matters at hand at the behind the scenes work. And no, everything's good. Everything's very, very good. It's everything's healthy eating wise. It's healthy um, celebrating wise. Yes, as you may know, March is my birthday month. Had a great birthday March 3rd, and thank you to all of you for the birthday wishes, for the celebration, treats and whatnot, and it just go on besides with this. And if you still stick around, I got another one for the podcast for what happened last Saturday night, which is absolutely positively an amazing event that I went to see. And that's the most important thing. you know I may have cancer, I may have um, the liver and pancreatic cancer, but you know what? That's not going to stop me enjoying life. I mean, everything's going pretty well. I'm just jamming, loving it, getting fresh air, walking around and just taking care of, mainly life. I mean, yes, I did cheat a little bit. hmm because I had this craving for a fast food chain that will be named nameless, but an amazing fish fillet, and they have these double fish fillets. Absolutely so good, and it's perfect for Fridays. Obviously, keeping the devotion up and whatnot. But I had another burger, and let me tell you something. I broke down and said, "Yeah, let me try it." And it actually was tasting pretty good. It was very, very tasty. It was very good, and yeah, the payback's there. But everything, all in all, everything's going okay. I mean, I have my moments, but we're making it happen. And I'm getting to enjoy life. And that's the most important thing, what you have to do. On this 57th entry in the bye week, and right before it's, you know, into the 25th, round of chemo next week, it's been limited. I've been taking, not only um, water pills for this one spot in the liver, because one of the chemo medications, the side effects, I think I do mention one of the entries before. They saw a spot and they didn't like it, and I didn't realize it was cirrhosis, and it's just mind-boggling. And they had to cut back the session from like 5 hours to a minimal 2.5, 3 now, which is fine. I'm doing pretty well, living life as for Dr. Modi and the other specialists. In fact, I have a very healthy ticker. Thank you to Orange Regional Medical Center in Middletown. They have this most amazing machine that attached over here, and take a look at the old ticker. And let me tell you something: the heart is healthy, it's beating. I never felt invigorated before, because when you start watching your heart in action, and just it's completely amazing, and it feels like I'm investing myself in the sciences and investing myself in my health, and health is number one to me right now. uh, there's no stress at all, and making making progress, and I hope I make progress, because there's a lot of things coming up and I just want to make sure that I'm going to be mainly on the safe side. And uh, again, this last week, was the chemo and then the mini chemo with the shot. I had blood work done as well, and I had a very active, I got a very active April coming up, which is going to be interesting because the next step right now is basically the CT scan over in Orange Regional Medical Center. Now it's basically the chest area and the abdomen. So let's see. And yes, it's with the stale Gatorade that I call it. And you're sitting there for an hour waiting to this thing and this thing. And I'm thinking, I'm ready to go to sleep. He's like, can I go to sleep? Can I really go to sleep? So, and by the way, the medication that I take, I'm taking a break, obviously, this week up to Tuesday. And then we start chemo again. The reason being, it's because it could affect, my, the reaction on the therapy session. And I just don't want to, I don't want to risk anything like that. I don't like risking mixing medications up and just doing the right thing. So, but along the ways, as you may know, it was my 24th round last week, and I'm thinking about uniform numbers. I'm thinking about how can I make this a little bit better? Well, to the women, to my nurses, my pals over at the New York Cancer and Blood Center, they deserved a big treat and an appreciation. And I went to a very sweet pastry shop, which will remain nameless. Let's put a hint out there. They had the most amazing Boston cream, blueberry, strawberry, fudge mix donut, which I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Everything in that. And I got 2 dozens for my crew, my ladies that take care of me. So, in essence, to the New York Cancer Blood Center in Middletown, thank you so much for taking care of me and getting me on the right track, and they appreciate it. And by the way, yes, I actually also did for the ones that are gluten-free, which, yes, I am gluten-free, even though I kind of craved the sweets a little bit. Okay, I had a little bit of Reese's here and there. What can I tell you? It's the Easter egg that's been calling me. It's been the other things that's been calling me, and I'm sorry, and, it's actually tasty when you put that, in the nutrition factor. It's like, okay, we could, do it once in a while. But yet the most amazing thing is like going to the supermarkets in the area and looking for really organic items, from honey, which I did, it's fantastic, fruits and vegetables, berries, protein waffles, which it's a big hit. And what I normally did was take, add the protein waffles, add a little bit of maple cream. Yes, obviously it's, maple syrup season. And they had this amazing maple cream right up the street. And it's so good. You could taste the natural, organic area. And the farms are amazing and bustling right now, making their syrups, their candy. I can't wait because this weekend I'm going to a very well-known place up in where I used to have my stomping grounds, and it's absolutely amazing coming back and just getting some really of the sweet stuff. So besides maple cream, I add on berries, which are great antioxidants, like the blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. Put it on top, and then drizzle it with honey. Now, that's like really my basic breakfast. And besides the protein bagels, thank you, Jerry, again for taking care of me about that. And you're the best with it. And eating properly. Now, my point is, I make enough for the best of it. And I remember what Dr. Modi said. I remember what other doctors said. In this type of situation, in your metastatic stage 4 condition, you're supposed to eat 6 proportionate meals. Now, I can't do 3 big meals anymore. Yet it's so good, and in my eyes, I see it, I want to eat it. But it's always good to have leftovers. And it's always always a good thing. In fact, I had the best chicken barbecue. Thank you, Kristen, by the way. Love you. Last weekend, locally here, and supporting supporting the fire department, and support your local fire department, by the way, whether it's a pancake breakfast, which I saw amazing, amount of friends support my alumni, my crew, last Sunday as well. So it was a really interesting weekend, to say the least. So it was absolutely phenomenal, fantastic, and still kicking butt. And I said, what's the next step? Well, always raising the bar. And that's what I normally say, raising the bar, sipping my coffee, opening my eyes. That's a win. And then, it's like never giving up. And in a way of everything, creating that legacy that, everyone's seeing me, and, a lot of prayers, a lot of hope, a lot of smiles, and just living life. And it's absolutely phenomenal. And would you believe it's getting close to, actually, it's been a year since I've been diagnosed. And during this time, I was really, let's put this in perspective. A little over a year ago, I had jaundice in like late February, early March. My mind was going everywhere else. And the thought patterns, the what ifs, the differences of what needs to be done, what I need to eat, what I need to do, and with the greatest compassion and help from really the best doctors, the best nurses ever. And again, this is going to, kudos to the Orange Regional Medical Center, to Optum with Carmen. Thank you, Carmen. I love you for it, for every time to check in about every couple of weeks. Glad you enjoyed vacation, by the way. Hope you're doing very well. And, again, to the crew there at, I can't stress enough the New York Cancer Blood Center in Middletown. And, there's so many people that I've seen in my life, and just seeing people getting their other, blood tests done, or there's like, there's people that I know say, hey, I know you. It's like, what's going on? It's like, what happened? So my thoughts and prayers go out to them. And just doing to take it to the next level. So, and if it feels like my throat's scratchy because of my cords, I've been trying to drink a lot of water and always hydrating. And I think water has been like the mainstay for me, besides ginger ale, the green tea, and, being wise about it. And that's the most important thing. The wisdom, the patience, the compassion, everything works, everything works in a, amazing degree. So it's been quite a week. It's been an interesting week, thank goodness. And I'm making strides and trying to get the most important things. And by the way, much love going out to Nicole and she's really officially my tax broker now. Because I used to do my taxes. I usually get it done early. Long story short, I did it through the system, but I went to an amazing CPA, took care of everything, kindness, compassion, and miracles do happen. Miracles really do happen. So I'm at a pretty much stable spot, pretty much happy. Like I said, the apartment is absolutely amazing. I mean, even though I get up in the morning, go into the bathroom, when I start playing the quote unquote flugelhorn, tuba, what have you. it's off to the bathroom because I knew what's going to happen. And I think you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's been, it's been quite a ride. Been quite a ride for, for so many sessions. And I'm going to my 25th. Oh my goodness. Now, the 25th one, it's very special for me. I can only think of one event back in 1990, 1991, where my beloved Buffalo Bills won the AFC Championship and went to the biggest game in the year against the New York Giants. I call them Metro Giants for some reason or another. That's another discussion that we could actually pick up and carry on with this. But amazing Super Bowl, and by that much, by 1 point, they could have won, but they lost it by 1 point, and it's still the greatest game of all time. I mean, two amazing coaches, two amazing teams, battling out for the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and it's just absolutely astonishing, and just put me in a good thought. So I'm looking up there right now because obviously I've been moving a lot now. Yes, I actually, since it's been there with the nice weather, I've been actually getting some of the time capsules out of my out of the other place. Everything's going pretty well. And I keep reminding myself, and you should remind yourself about this. Empires were not built in a day. Whether it's a refresher, you want to do something better for yourself, and that's what I did. I'm doing something better for myself. So I got a few quality things to help me out around the house. I mean, even though with the neuropathy, some days it gets to be out of hand, but I still can, button my shirt, zipper my zippers, and the know-how, and just completely relaxing, with this. And I really haven't opened up with the events like on Friday. Really, after the lulls on Friday, every other Friday when I have my chemo, I'm very tired and very exhausted. So very, very light, and I go to bed. Saturday, I rest for the full day, and it's Sunday. Wham, bam. Thank you, man. I'm back, doing what I need to do. And on that point, taking the pills again, taking my calcium supplements, and just carrying on life. And again, there's a quote every time that I, listen to, oh yeah, life goes on. You know which verse is that? You know what song is this? I'm not going to tell you. It's a classic rock and roll song, and it makes it happen. And I hope you do listen to the one Spotify mix that I actually did called Surviving Ways. And it puts you in a matter of perspective. I mean, there's some good days, but sometimes you're like, am I ready to go? And I'm like, no, I think God has a specific plan for me, as in everything. I think Mom has more, has been watching me, and a lot of my best friends have been watching me, and, always checking in. And that's the most important thing. I text every morning, to the key friends that I have, and to the key individuals that have got me through, through the thick and thin. And it's absolutely amazing. So on that note, we're going to do something a little bit different. I got to do something on the podcast side because there's something, exciting that I did last Sunday or last Saturday. And there were a couple of events in between in March that made it a very enjoyable birthday month, Pisces season, and to celebrate this March baby. 59 years, still kicking butt, taking names, kicking butt, and just living life. Who'd you think? Who do you think? Baseball season's coming right around. I'm going to be celebrating a little bit more. Oh yeah, and celebrating life with Miss Kelly, with 10 years of a very healthy ticker, her heart, and it just made it so special. So, as always, you know, you open your eyes, you're being blessed, you're being grateful, you raise the bar for the day. What are you going to do? Just live the day, just make it happen. And always, don't give up, never give up. And most importantly, in what we do, brothers and sisters, and what we do in life echoes an eternity of a lifetime. That creates a legacy that's so legendary, and it's a tribute of your creation. And this is what I'm creating. So I hope you enjoy these updates. And to a few friends that I met along the way, thank you for reaching out, making best friend, being friendly, and making an understanding of what it is, and researching, how do we defeat this dreadful disease? How do we defeat a cancer that cannot be, hopefully it's going to be, extinguished within the end of time. So, yet it's been quite a ride. It's been an amazing one. Looking forward to next month. And no fooling. Do not do anything crazy on April 1st. Because the way the world is right now, we have to be on guard. We really have to be on guard. So, and not only that, April 1st is my chemo day. So don't. Don't do it. So, anyway, this is Charlie Chaz from CGM3 Productions. Hoping you have an amazing weekend, an amazing day. Hope your week was fantastic. And again, here's to round 25. Looking out to completing the bye week of 24 on this 57th entry in March, the last Friday in March. And here's to health, prosperity, wellness, and love, peace, and friendship. That's basically what you got to do. So I will be in touch. Normally it would be on touch, on some of the social platforms. And, basically I'll be in touch with you. So have a great weekend. I love you all. Peace, love, friendship, and we will see you later on.